What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing what I did with WWE 2K20 last year. I'm going to do an all-female universe mode in WWE 2K22. I hope this will be a good one. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to focus on the pay-per-views. I'm going to skip the shows themselves. So we're just going to go through a year of pay-per-views up to WrestleMania and see what happens. If you like what you see, guys, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. All right, we are going to start with Money in the Bank. So starting things off, we have an 8-man 4-way tornado tag with all four of the tag teams that I have set in there. Second match is going to be Maurice versus Naomi. Then we got Lana versus Carmella. Dana Brooke versus Stephanie McMahon. And so I have the Raw Women's Championship and the Divas Championship. I figure the Divas Championship will kind of be like a secondary championship, with the Raw Women's Championship being the world title, basically. So Dakota Kai's taking on Lacey Evans for that Divas title. We have another tag team match. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay versus Nox and Shotzi. Are they not in the first match too? Oh no, they aren't. Looks like Sonya Deville and Raquel Gonzalez are a tag team for some reason. Actually, those tag teams don't really match up, but whatever. And then we got Candice LeRae taking on Ember Moon. Our 8th match is the Money in the Bank match. You got Liv Morgan, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Trish Stratus, Beth Phoenix, and Rhea Ripley. We got Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for that world title. And we're ending things off with just a regular 8-man ladder match. So let's go ahead and simulate the match and see how it goes. So it looks like Natalya and Nia Jax, a weird tag team, won that 4-way tornado tag. Maurice beat Naomi. Carmella beat Lana. Stephanie McMahon beat Dana Brooke with Triple H in her corner. Lacey Evans retains that Divas title. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay beat Nox and Shotzi. Candice LeRae beat Ember Moon. Looks like Trish Stratus is our Money in the Bank winner. Interesting. And Charlotte Flair is our new women's champion. And Bayley won the very final ladder match. That means absolutely nothing. Let's move on to the next pay-per-view. Alright, we're moving on to WrestleMania Backlash. Now I have no control over if the Money in the Bank got used or not. As you can see, I don't have announced cash in available, so I'm pretty sure that might have gotten cashed in and it was probably already used already, so we're not even going to worry about it. Starting things off, we got Bianca Belair versus Trish Stratus. That'd be a good one. Liv Morgan taking on Alexa Bliss. Dana Brooke taking on Lacey Evans for that Divas Championship. Candice LeRae taking on Ember Moon. Mandy Rose taking on Mickie James. You got Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash taking on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Sasha Banks taking on Asuka. Bayley is challenging Charlotte Flair for that Raw Women's title. Alright. And then ending things, we got Peyton Royce and Billie Kay versus Nox and Shotzi. I don't know why they're the main event, but whatever. Let's go ahead and simulate this and see what happens. So Bianca Belair beat Trish Stratus. Alright. Alexa Bliss beat Liv Morgan. Lacey Evans retains that Divas Championship. Candice LeRae lost to Ember Moon. Mickie James beat Mandy Rose. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash beat Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Asuka beat Sasha Banks. And Charlotte Flair retains that Raw Women's title. And looks like Nox and Shotzi beat Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Alright, let's move on. Alright, we're at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Kicking things off, Ember Moon is challenging Lacey Evans for that Divas Championship. Mandy Rose is taking on Alexa Bliss. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay again taking on Nox and Shotzi. Natalya and Tamina taking on Asuka and Maurice. Liv Morgan taking on Beth Phoenix. Mickie James versus Trish Stratus. Ooh. Bianca Belair is challenging Charlotte Flair for that title. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash taking on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And Bayley is taking on Sasha Banks in the main event. Alright, let's see how this goes. Lacey Evans keeps holding on to that Divas Championship. Alexa Bliss beat Mandy Rose. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay beat Nox and Shotzi. Alright, we got Asuka and Maurice beat Natalya and Tamina. Beth Phoenix beat Liv Morgan. Oh, and Mickie James beat Trish Stratus. Charlotte Flair retains that title. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash beat Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And Sasha Banks beat Bayley. Alright, moving on. Alright, we got 2 pay-per-views here in August. We're starting here with SummerSlam. Kicking things off, Mickie James taking on Trish Stratus once again. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce taking on Nox and Shotzi once again. Dana Brooke taking on Ember Moon. Candice LeRae is challenging Lacey Evans for that title once again. Liv Morgan is taking on Chyna. Mandy Rose is taking on Alexa Bliss. Oh, we finally have a Tag Team Championship match. Natalya and Tamina are challenging Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash for the Tag Team Championship. Asuka is taking on Bianca Belair. Beth Phoenix is challenging Charlotte Flair for that Raw Women's title. That'll be awesome. And Sasha Banks taking on Bayley. Classic rivalry there. Let's simulate and see what happens. Mickie James once again beats Trish Stratus. Nox and Shotzi once again beat Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Ember Moon beats Dana Brooke. Lacey Evans retains that Divas Championship. Liv Morgan beat Chyna. That's good for Liv Morgan. Alexa Bliss beat Mandy Rose. Natalya and Tamina are our new Tag Team Champions. Asuka beat Bianca Belair. Charlotte Flair keeps holding on to that Raw Women's Championship. And Sasha Banks beat Bayley. Let's move on. Alright, our next August pay-per-view is Payback. Kicking things off, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taking on Asuka and Chyna. We got Candice LeRae once again challenging Lacey Evans for that Divas Championship that she does not want to let go of. Dana Brooks taking on Ember Moon. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash are challenging Natalya and Tamina to try and get that Tag Team Championship back. Mandy Rose taking on Alexa Bliss. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce taking on Nox and Shotzi again. Oh, we got a 3-way match between Mickie James, Bianca Belair, and Trish Stratus. Man, that's awesome. Beth Phoenix challenging Charlotte Flair again for that title. And once again, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. I don't know how they come up with this, but let's simulate this and see what happens. So Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler beat Asuka and Chyna. Lacey Evans holds on to that Divas Championship. Ember Moon beat Dana Brooke. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash got those titles back. Awesome. Mandy Rose beat Alexa Bliss. Nox and Shotzi once again got one over on the Iconics. Trish Stratus wins that triple threat match. Charlotte Flair once again retains that title, and Sasha Banks beats Bayley. Let's move on. Alright, September pay-per-view, Clash of Champions. We got Nox and Shotzi challenging Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash for the titles. Finally, we get a match that we haven't seen yet. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are taking on Natalya and Tamina. And Candice LeRae just really wants that title off Lacey Evans, but she does not want to give it up. Asuka's taking on Mickie James. Chyna's taking on Trish Stratus. Sasha Banks is taking on Alexa Bliss. Bianca Belair's taking on Bayley. This is a really good pay-per-view. Beth Phoenix challenging Charlotte Flair once again. And we're ending things with Ember Moon versus Dana Brooke. Let's see how this goes. So Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash retain those titles. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler beat Natalya and Tamina. Oh, and finally, Candice LeRae gets that Divas Championship. Let's hope that we can get a match that doesn't involve the two of them next pay-per-view. Mickie James beat Asuka. Chyna got one over on Trish. Sasha Banks beats Alexa Bliss. Bayley beat Bianca Belair. Charlotte Flair just does not want to get rid of that title. And Dana Brooke beat Ember Moon. Let's move on. Alright, we're at our October pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. We got Sasha Banks taking on Alexa Bliss to kick things off. Ember Moon is challenging Candice LeRae for the Divas Championship. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taking on Natalya and Tamina. Asuka's taking on Mickie James. Shots and Noxie, jeez, it's so hard to say. Nox and Shotzi are taking on Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash for that championships. Chyna's taking on Trish Stratus again. Beth Phoenix once again challenging for that title. Bayley's taking on Bianca Belair, and we got Becky Lynch taking on Stephanie McMahon. Interesting, in a rivalry match. Let's see how this goes. So Sasha Banks beats Alexa Bliss. Ember Moon is our new Divas champion. So Candice LeRae only had it for a very short amount of time. Natalya and Tamina win the match against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Mickie James beat Asuka. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash retain them titles. Trish Stratus beats Chyna. Charlotte Flair once again holds on to that title. Bianca Belair beats Bayley, and Becky Lynch gets one over on Stephanie McMahon. Let's move on. Alright, we're now at our November pay-per-view Survivor Series. Kicking things off, Becky Lynch versus Stephanie McMahon again. Mickie James taking on Beth Phoenix, so that means Beth Phoenix is not challenging for the title this time. The Iconics taking on Nox and Shotzi. Dana Brooke is challenging Ember Moon for that Divas Championship. Bianca Belair taking on Mandy Rose. Asuka taking on Liv Morgan. Natalya and Tamina against Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. Trish Stratus going against Chyna. Bayley is challenging Charlotte Flair for that Women's Championship. Ooh, let's hope that somebody can take it from Charlotte Flair. And Sasha Banks taking on Alexa Bliss in our main event. So let's see how this goes down. Becky Lynch once again beats Stephanie McMahon. Beth Phoenix beats Mickie James. She finally gets a win, it looks like. The Iconics beat Nox and Shotzi. Ember Moon is still our Divas champion. Mandy Rose beats Bianca Belair. Asuka beats Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash beat Natalya and Tamina, a non-title match. Trish Stratus beat Chyna once again. Oh, Bayley is our new WWE Raw Women's Champion. That is awesome. And Alexa Bliss beats Sasha Banks. Let's move on. Alright, our December pay-per-view is TLC. We got Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss to kick things off. We got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taking on Sonya Deville and Chyna. The Iconics taking on Nox and Shotzi again. Asuka taking on Mandy Rose. Lacey Evans wants her Divas Championship back. Natalya and Tamina taking on Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash in a non-title match. Bianca Belair taking on Mickie James. Charlotte Flair wants that title back from Bayley. And to end things, it's Becky Lynch versus Stephanie McMahon. Let's see what happens. So Sasha Banks beats Alexa Bliss. Sonya Deville and Chyna beat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. That's pretty interesting. Nox and Shotzi beat the Iconics. Asuka beats Mandy Rose. Ember Moon retains her Divas Championship. Natalya and Tamina beat Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash in a non-title match. Mickie James beats Bianca Belair. Bayley beats Charlotte Flair, retains that title. And Becky Lynch beats Stephanie McMahon. Let's move on. Alright, it's January, so it's the Royal Rumble. We got Lacey Evans taking on Reckoning. Dana Brooke challenging Ember Moon for the title. Naomi taking on Maurice. Seen some people we haven't seen in a while. We got our women's 30-man Royal Rumble. We got Bianca Belair taking on Mickie James. Liv Morgan versus Trish Stratus. Mandy Rose against Alexa Bliss. Sasha Banks challenging Bayley for the Women's Championship. That would be awesome. And Asuka's challenging Charlotte Flair. Let's see what happens. So Lacey Evans gets one over on Reckoning. Dana Brooke is our new Divas Champion. That Divas Championship is actually changing hands a lot, which is awesome. Naomi has beaten Maurice. We don't know what happens. I'll find out what happens in the Women's Royal Rumble after this. Mickie James beats Bianca Belair. Trish Stratus beats Liv Morgan. Mandy Rose beat Alexa Bliss. Sasha Banks is our new Raw Women's Champion. And Asuka beats Charlotte Flair. And in the news, oh wait, no, hold on. The Royal Rumble was won by Beth Phoenix. So Beth Phoenix is going to challenge for the title at WrestleMania if things go right. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, February pay-per-view, it's the Elimination Chamber. We got Bianca Belair taking on Mickie James. Candice LeRae taking on Mia Yim. We got a triple threat match, Lana, Maurice, and Carmella. Lacey Evans taking on Reckoning with all them in her corner. We have a 6-man Elimination Chamber, a non-title Elimination Chamber, so just a regular one. Alexa Bliss, Trish, Mandy Rose, Liv Morgan, Chyna, and Beth Phoenix. That would actually be pretty good. We got Shotzi and Nox taking on Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. Bayley taking on Sasha Banks for that Women's Championship. Bayley wants that back. Asuka's taking on Charlotte Flair, and our Elimination Chamber is for the Divas Championship. Ember Moon, Dana Brooke, Toni Storm, Naomi, Io Shirai, and Raquel Gonzalez. That might be interesting. Let's see what happens. So Mickie James beats Bianca Belair. Mia Yim beat Candice LeRae. Carmella won that triple threat match. Reckoning beat Lacey Evans. Well, it's no wonder with all them dudes in her corner. Trish Stratus won that regular non-title Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash retain those tag team titles. Bayley is once again our Raw Women's Champion. Asuka beat Charlotte Flair. And Dana Brooke is our new Divas Champion. That's awesome. Let's move on. All right, our March pay-per-view. We got Fastlane. Becky Lynch taking on Stephanie McMahon. Natalya and Tamina taking on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Carmella is challenging Dana Brooke for the Divas Championship. Mickie James taking on Bianca Belair in a no-holds-barred match. Ember Moon taking on Raquel Gonzalez. Alexa Bliss taking on Trish Stratus. Shotzi and Nox really want them tag team titles. Charlotte Flair taking on Asuka. And Sasha Banks is challenging Bayley for the Raw Women's Championship. Let's see how this goes down. So Becky Lynch beats Stephanie McMahon. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler beat Natalya and Tamina. Dana Brooke is still our Divas Champion. Mickie James beat Bianca Belair. Ember Moon beat Raquel Gonzalez. Trish Stratus got one over on Alexa Bliss. And Shotzi and Nox are our new tag team champions. Awesome. Charlotte Flair lost to Asuka. And Sasha Banks is our new Raw Women's Champion. Let's keep it going. All right, we're ending things here at WrestleMania. We got Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash challenging Shotzi and Nox to try to get them titles back. Lacey Evans taking on Io Shirai. Carmella is challenging Dana Brooke for the Divas Championship. Naomi's taking on Lana. Maurice is taking on Candice LeRae. Mia Yim is taking on Reckoning. Mandy Rose is taking on Alexa Bliss. Ember Moon is challenging Raquel Gonzalez. Becky Lynch challenges Stephanie McMahon. Beth Phoenix, who won the Royal Rumble but is not in the title match, is taking on Toni Storm. Bianca Belair is taking on Bayley. And it looks like Asuka is going to be challenging Sasha Banks for that Raw Women's Championship. I hope that Asuka wins. And ending things, we actually have a pretty awesome match. Trish Stratus versus Mickie James versus Charlotte Flair. That actually would be a really good main event, even if it was non-title. So let's simulate this and see what goes down. So Shotzi and Nox retain those tag team championships, so they're ending things as the champions. Io Shirai beat Lacey Evans. Carmella is our new Divas champion. I was really pulling for Dana Brooke because I really don't like Carmella for some reason. Naomi beat Lana. Maurice beat Candice LeRae. Reckoning beat Mia Yim. Mandy Rose beat Alexa Bliss. Raquel Gonzalez beat Ember Moon. Stephanie McMahon actually won against Becky Lynch. Well, she did have Triple H in her corner, so. Beth Phoenix beats Toni Storm. Bayley beats Bianca Belair. Sasha Banks retains her Raw Women's Championship, so she's ending things as the Raw Women's Champion. And Mickie James won that triple threat match. Freaking awesome. Well, guys, I think that was a pretty good year of Universe Mode with all females. A little glitchy. The Royal Rumble winner, blah, should have been in the main event of WrestleMania, but it's all good. I was kind of happy with how things turned out. If you guys like this, I might do more female-only videos. If you want to see different wrestlers challenging for different titles, if you want me to switch things up, let me know. If you want me to create tag teams that don't exist, if you want me to split up tag teams, I can do whatever. Just let me know. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.